All right, so in today's lesson, we're going to talk about how to slow down the ball. I know that whatever level you play, you probably run into players that like to always drive the ball or are labeled as bangers. All right, so we run into a lot of these players, and you know what? As you move up in levels, we're just going to have to learn how to deal with them. Now, being able to slow down the ball is a key skill in pickleball, and that's what we're going to dive into right now. So we hear this a lot, how to slow down the ball, trying to take pace off the ball. How do we actually do this? Well, in this video, we're going to break it down, and I'm going to give you very practical advice here. So the first thing that we want to think about when we talk about slowing down the ball is that we want to take the ball's pace and use that and not add any pace to it. So a lot of times when you're getting hit the ball, and we're talking about volleys here, right? Either if it's hit to you here or if it's hit to you down here, and you actually want to slow the game down or slow that ball down, one thing that we really need to do is not push or punch our volleys out. Because a lot of times when players are trying to slow it down, they're actually swinging or hitting the ball, and that doesn't slow it down, right? If you're swinging or hitting, that actually puts more momentum into the ball, which is contrary to what we're trying to do. All right, so now let's talk about some key elements to how to slow the ball down. Now remember, we want to slow the ball down if we are getting attacked low here at our feet, right? We don't want to attack these from a low contact point because we're going to be sending that ball up and they're going to be hitting down at our feet. And another reason to maybe slow down the ball and hit a reset shot is if our opponents are constantly attacking us with pace and we can't control it or get that ball down. One thing that we want to do is try to hit more of a reset shot or a neutral shot landing into the non-volley zone or closer to that non-volley zone line so that they are forced to have a low contact point. All right, so the three main elements for slowing the ball down is grip pressure. So that's number one. We want to make sure that we have a loose grip pressure, okay? If we have something really, really tight, that ball is going to rocket off the paddle, all right? So we want it between maybe a 3 or 4 grip pressure, the tightness of it on a scale of 1 to 10. Secondly, we want an open paddle face, all right? So you're gonna see with all my balls, every reset or ball that I try to slow down, what you're gonna see is my paddle face is around a 45-degree angle, and we're going to be adjusting that slightly, but we wanna make sure it's like this, because if it's here, that ball is just not gonna go over. We need that margin, and we need to get that arc over the net so it's dropping down. Hi, if you're really liking this content, go ahead and give this video a like. It really helps us out. Now, let's get right back to the video. And then lastly, probably the most important thing, and this is probably going to be the hardest thing for most players, because every shot in pickleball, what are we doing? We're actually putting energy into the ball. We're swinging, we're either punching, on overheads, we're swinging, okay? On this one particular shot, which is very, very key as you move up in levels, trying to slow the ball down, what we need to do is not move our paddle, especially when we're up at the non-volley zone line. Okay, if we're trying to slow the ball down, what we need to do is just track the ball well, loose grip pressure, paddle face open, and we just need to hit the center of our paddle, the sweet spot, and allow that ball's energy to ricochet off my paddle, and then I'm going to try to drop it right into the non-volley zone. All right, so right now I'm at the non-volley zone line, and I have my beautiful wife Katrina there on the other side on her non-volley zone line, and this is the way to work on slowing the ball down. Now what she's going to do is she's going to feed me waist level balls, or maybe around here, waist to knee level, and my goal is to try to slow it down, get some good arc over the net so that it's dropping into the non-volley zone or maybe closer to the non-volley zone line. But the key is to make her have a low contact point so that she can't keep attacking me. Okay, so let's see it here. I'm going to start here at the non-volley zone line. Here we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, good. Okay, nice. Okay, one more. And one last one, actually. Okay, so I want you to notice that there is no movement in my paddle right now. Okay, that's the key element here. If we're trying to take pace off of the ball, we just want to let the ball's energy bounce off my paddle and let the ball do the work. Right now, my target is very close. It's right in front of me, so I don't need to add anything to it, because when I see players trying this, they're actually adding some energy and that ball pops up, and guess what? It gets hit right at the feet. So it's really, really important. Some other key things here is I want to make sure that I'm volleying this ball or taking this ball out of the air a good length in front of me. Okay, you'll notice I see players trying to reset and they're way too early reaching out here. If you're this far trying to reset, you're going to lose a lot of control. Right now, we're trying to hit a reset shot, so we actually want to bring it in here. We don't want to be too jammed here, because this is just not enough room to hit the ball. Okay, so we want it right around here. This is a good area. And now another thing is, we don't want any extra movement. A lot of players that I work with, I see them stabbing at it like this, or just doing some extra movement, and it's really, really key to keep it simple. And really all I'm doing is tracking the ball well. I'm letting it hit my paddle, and you can tell my grip pressure is loose, and all that's doing is that ball is popping over as a good reset. Lastly, I want you to notice my arc. I really want to make sure I clear the net by 1 to 3 feet, have good arc, and the main purpose of the shot, remember, is if you're getting attacked, we hit this reset ball, and then it's dropping down to the feet. All right, so now kind of to bring it all together and why this shot is really, really important, I'm going to show you how to work your way back, and I'm going to talk about why this is a very key thing. But what we're going to start off with is exactly what I said. You're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this reset shot from here from the line, and remember, she's feeding me balls kind of around my belly button waist area to my knees. Now as I go back, she may feed me some lower balls. So what I want to do is I want to get low with my legs. It's the same kind of thing, not a lot of movement, all right, in my paddle, or almost none. But what you'll notice is as I'm moving back, I may have to nudge it or help it a little bit more because my distance is further from my target. But especially up here, we want to work on keeping a very stable and steady paddle. Okay, I'm going to start up at the line here. All right, here we go, 1 step back. All right, that was a good one there. Good height over the net, dropping down in the non-volley zone. 1 more step. Notice I'm taking a step back every time, all right? And then I'm just slightly adjusting, all right? Okay, so even if I have to come over here, I can still take this on my right hip as a backhand here, okay? Okay, okay again? Okay. All right, so you'll notice as you're moving back and as you're working on this shot, you're really just making slight adjustments. As I move back, I'm slightly adjusting, right? Because I have further distance to cover now. Now I may start to add little by little nudge or a little push forward or up so that I can get that extra distance, right? As I'm coming back here and here, okay, and even here. Now you want to get to right around this area, and I like to practice it right around mid-court and then start to come back up, okay? So I don't want to go all the way back with the shot. But one thing that you'll notice, all right, is that my paddle is, for the majority, really stable. I'm just tracking the ball well. And remember, it's not a swing. I'm not swinging at the ball. Now, let's talk about why this shot is very, very important. When are you going to use this shot? Well, firstly, when we're dinking here and they're hitting balls at your feet, okay? That's the #1 purpose for this shot. We need to be able to learn and also get comfortable taking dinks out of the air. Okay, I have to let that one bounce. Okay, there you go. Okay. Good. Okay, good. Okay, so you notice when your opponent is hitting you deep dinks to your feet, instead of always backing up or letting these balls get really close to your feet and then having a late contact point here, one thing that you want to get comfortable doing is getting low and getting these balls out of the air as a volley. When I'm close to the line here, I really want to protect my feet. If I can, I want to take that think as a volley in the air first. Now let's talk about the second reason why it's super vital to practice this shot and learn how to reset the ball. All right, so now the second reason why it's really important to practice this shot is because when you are working your way through the transition zone as the serving team, after you hit your drive or third shot drop, you are going to have to hit 1, 2, or several balls in this transition zone. All right, and when you and your partner are here, good teams are going to keep the balls right at your feet. All right, so they're going to force balls low, which they should. They're going to force it to your feet here, and you might have to let some bounce, or you have to take this as a volley. Now, many times I see players attacking these balls, low balls, or they can't control the balls here, and then that next ball gets slammed at their feet. This is why it's very crucial to practice these reset shots, trying to get a ball descending down towards that non-volley zone so that you could come up to the non-volley zone line. All right, so like you just saw in those examples, this is why it's really important and key to develop this shot and to practice it. Learning to slow down the ball is a key aspect in pickleball, especially as you're moving up in levels, because once you're working your way and moving through this transition zone, the good players are always going to keep that ball right at your feet. So we want to learn how to handle these balls well. Remember, if we're trying to take pace off the ball, we want to make sure we're not swinging and we have a stable paddle face during contact, and that paddle face is open. We have a light grip pressure, and we're just making slight adjustments depending on how far we are off the non-volley zone line. So hopefully this video was very helpful for you, and we really appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Have this feeling, haven't felt for so long. Took a hold of me and won't let go. I've been sleeping, caught me off my guard, 'cause you're in my space and now